Hello, and welcome to Creator Weekly for the week ending August 24th, 2025. I'm Peggy Kay. This week there's updates for YouTube, for Instagram, for Twitch, Bluesky, a bunch of things. Thank you so much for joining me today. And I hope you're having a nice weekend, enjoying sort of the last of summer. So, my top update for this week is a major expansion of who can use the YouTube Effect Maker tool. Now, what is this? The Effect Maker tool lets you create special effects for YouTube Shorts. And they can be funny, they can be silly, they can be serious, they can be interactive. And the idea is these various effects are available in the Shorts editor app, in the YouTube main app on mobile devices that let you create shorts. So, what's the deal with this? The Effects Maker tool, it's only available on desktop on the web. You need to have advanced features enabled on your YouTube channel. You can check that in your settings in YouTube Studio on desktop. And you have to be in an eligible country. You can see here they list all the countries where this is available to creators. I'm not that great with the two-letter codes, but as best I can tell, it doesn't seem to be available in EU countries or the UK, but it's available all over the world otherwise. And this is just a quick look at what the interface looks like. I haven't actually created an effect yet. You tell it you want to create a new effect, and then you end up in this sort of workspace. You can see there's like a guy in a short there. That's a model. So you can test out the effect and see what it will look like if someone actually used it. And they have visual scripting. So this is really a user-friendly interface for creating a script. You say, oh, if the person in the video does this thing, then the effect does this other thing. So, people have it. You can make it so they look like they're wearing glasses, or if they tilt their head a certain way, something pops up, or all kinds of things. If you create an effect and make it public, it will appear in the effects list, in the Shorts video editor, in the YouTube mobile app, and you have the option to highlight this effect that you made on your YouTube channel on the main home screen. So you can get credit for it, People can see, oh, this is the creator of this effect. YouTube says they're testing generative AI tools, and those will have expanded access later this year, probably. So these are all just basic scripting. They're not generative AI effects. That's pretty neat. That's my top update for this week. I just want to say hi to everyone who's here in the chat. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'd love to hear what you think about this week's updates. Andrew says, looks like I need to learn to create short videos. Yeah, give it a try. You don't actually have to use any special effects or anything fancy. At its heart, the Shorts editor in the YouTube app is, a camera where you can record yourself. You can choose the green screen option and put any image or video behind you. So it's great if you want to make a tutorial or something like that. You just have those screenshots you want to use, put them behind you, and you talk about it. Easy peasy, right? So there's a few more YouTube updates I want to talk about. The first is for creators who are in the YouTube Partner Program. If you use Brand Connect to connect with sponsors. You can now connect to a partner sponsor in your video. And so you tag them. That gives the sponsor access to information about that video. They can see the video performance, views, engagement. And the nice thing is you don't have to share all the stats from your YouTube channel. You can just share the stats from this particular video that you made for the sponsor. Also, sponsors can show their ads to viewers who watch your video, and they can use your video as an ad. When they do that, the video has, a subscribe button on it, so this can help promote your video as well. If you have branded mentions on some of your videos, you will also have increased visibility in the Advertisers Creator Partnership Hub. This is a place where advertisers can see creators to partner with. I mean, that's what it sounds like, right? And you do that through Brand Connect. If your channel's in the YouTube Partner Program, check out Brand Connect on the Earn tab, and you can set it all up. So this is a way to get more sponsors for your videos. So let me just quickly show that. You can see more information on this slide. Then just a couple very small updates. In YouTube Studio on the Community tab, it will now let you select all the comments to remove them or report them rather than just a few at a time. So this is sort of a little quality of a life update for creators. I'm pretty sure this is only on desktop. Whoops. And then there is a new experimental option to limit comments on your videos to only subscribers and members. It sounds like it's a way to really make sure the conversation, the discussion on your videos is for people who are real fans. This is currently only available at the individual level, and it's only available in Thailand. So if you're not in Thailand, you don't have access to this. But if you are in Thailand, you should check it out. It's available on both desktop and mobile. And it's probably something that will be expanded to more creators as time goes on. I have no idea why they decided Thailand to start testing it, but they do different places. So the other kind of neat thing I wanted to talk about is YouTube Music is almost 10 years old. They're celebrating with a bunch of features for listeners. And first of all, they are going to implement an update where you can share comments on albums and playlists. There's also a taste match playlist, which is automatically updated daily based on the music taste of everyone who has joined them. There's notifications of new music releases and events and upcoming concert listings. And there are new listener badges. So for top fans, you can get badges and music video watch milestones. So I want to also mention something that's a little bit of drama on YouTube this week. Recently, viewers noticed that some shorts looked a little off, and you could see that this was not something designed into the short because a lot of creators, they upload the same short videos on YouTube, on Instagram, TikTok, so you can compare what the video looks like on different platforms. And you can see YouTube Shorts looked, especially, the way people looked, didn't look quite right. And so people assumed that YouTube was AI upscaling the shorts videos. And this, of course, made people upset. Nobody wants to think that their videos are being modified by YouTube without any say in the matter. And YouTube did finally respond. They said they are not using generative AI, but rather running an experiment on select YouTube shorts that uses traditional machine learning technology to unblur, denoise, and improve clarity in videos during processing, similar to what a modern smartphone does when you record a video. So to me, this sounds very AI adjacent, even if it's technically not generative AI. And I think it kind of misses the point where people are unhappy that shorts, the look of them is being modified by YouTube without any notice and no say in the matter. So again, this is an experiment, and hopefully they've kind of learned from this that if they want to do this, it should be opt-in and creators should have a say. So, you know, my personal feeling is that there isn't anything inherently wrong with generative AI tools. In a lot of cases, it's how you use them, and this is certainly and a lot of things that people don't like about AI are true with other kinds of editing as well. You know, this was a mistake on YouTube's part. Hopefully, they make it right. So I also want to mention another Google update for video. If you have Google Workspace or access to Google Vids, Google is rolling out an option to use Vids to edit your videos that are stored in Google Drive. And the idea is you open the video in Google Drive and there is a button that you click and it opens it in Vids. This creates a new Vids file where you can trim your video, add text, add music, there's a bunch of other features. So this is nice that Google now offers this built-in video editor. Vids supports MP4, QuickTime, OGG, and WebM files up to 35 minutes long and up to 4 gigabytes. So this is nice if you have access to it. It's not available with free Google accounts. If you have Google AI subscription, you should have access to this too. So moving on to Twitch. Twitch is rolling out its new, less disruptive clipping flow that lets users clip, edit, and save from live streams while continuing to watch the live stream. This is their mock-up from the Help Center. And if you like the original clipping flow, you can apparently still toggle back to the original, but they want people to start using this new one. It launched in May as an experiment. Now it's rolling out to everyone. And it's interesting, Twitch is really pushing people to make clips. Twitch, when there's a live stream, it simultaneously makes a landscape and vertical clip, and the vertical clips can be shared directly to YouTube Shorts, TikTok, or Instagram Reels. And it, of course, it has a label on it, and it's supposed to be a way to promote video. I don't know how well that actually works to promote Twitch streamers, but if you do stream on Twitch or watch videos on Twitch, you should check out the new clipping tool. Twitch, it has this big problem where it's hard to be discovered on Twitch, because if you're not streaming, there's nothing for people to watch in a lot of cases. So clips kind of gets around that, and there's a clip discovery feed and so forth. I'm going to move over to Meta. So this week, Meta announced that there would be Meta AI voice translation of Reels. This is available on Facebook and Instagram. It's only between English and Spanish right now, and it includes automatic dubbing and optionally lip syncing. So I don't know how well it works. It's kind of interesting. Again, YouTube Shorts has this automatic dubbing now as well. This seems to be the trend for AI tools. This feature is available wherever Meta AI is available. That excludes a lot of places. It excludes the European Union, South Korea, Brazil, Australia, Turkey, South Africa, Nigeria, and the states of Texas and Illinois. Yeah. So I don't know how that's decided or not, but the EU seems to miss out on a lot of these things, I assume because there's tighter regulations there. If you use Instagram, this is available to anyone with a public Instagram account. If you're on Facebook, you have to either be using a page or have professional mode, and you need at least 1,000 followers. It says it supports translation for up to 2 speakers, and they recommend this for sort of talking head videos. Your face is to the camera and you're speaking clearly. Not surprising there. So that is the trend. And for viewers, you'll be shown the reel in your preferred language. This is similar to how YouTube works. It automatically has the dubbed version if it thinks you speak that language, and you can turn off the translation if you don't want it. Must not be great to be bilingual, and kind of have these sometimes wonky dubs forced on you. A note that Facebook pages can now upload up to 20 of their own dubbed audio tracks for a reel. You can do that in the Meta Business Suite. This is good for more professional work if you have your own translated audio tracks that you want to use. Obviously, this is probably going to turn out better than their AI-generated automatic dubbing. And Instagram also announced that you can now link together Instagram Reels to each other. This can be used for multi-part videos or related series, and this is great because Instagram doesn't have playlists or anything like that. It seems like this was a feature that should have been released a long time ago, but this is great if you make Instagram Reels. And Instagram also updated its metrics for Reels so you can better understand the views. There's a new metric called retention. This shows the percentage of viewers that continue to watch at a given point in the video. So you can see, I had 50% of the viewers up until a minute in, and then it dropped off, that kind of thing. They are also switching the view rate metric with the skip rate. The view rate was the percentage of viewers that watched at least 3 seconds. So it's intentional viewing, I guess. Now the skip rate is a percentage of viewers that leave in the first 3 seconds. So this is a way to easily see, are people being hooked into your video, into your reel? And if you have a very high skip rate, maybe you need to grab attention. So now just a couple more updates. I want to take a couple minutes talking about the Coalition for Content Provenance and Authenticity. That's called C2PA. And they offer something called content credentials. So this is a platform, I think it's mostly driven by Adobe. And the idea is that it adds metadata to your images. Anytime content is captured, created, or edited, it's added to the content credentials, which are then embedded in the image. And the obvious use is if you're using generative AI tools, it labels that it was edited or created with generative AI, but it includes regular editing as well. So the whole idea is that this should tell you, oh, this photo is a direct capture, or this is something that's been edited. And that has to do with the authenticity of images. People talk a lot about AI editing, which makes things easy, but you can do a lot of fake stuff with regular editing as well. And what's notable, why I'm talking about it this week, is that the C2PA content credentials are now supported in Google Photos. So you can see there'd be information how this was made. In this particular example, it says, oh, it was captured and then it was edited with AI tools and edited with non-AI tools. Google Photos also supports IPTC metadata that embeds descriptions, copyright, contact information in the image. And Google has its own watermarking tool called SynthID that will automatically indicate that an image has been generated or edited with their AI tools. So this is good. I think that Google is using this standard now in Google Photos, and it's not just Google Photos. This week was the Made by Google event, and the new Pixel 10 camera was announced. The Pixel 10 phone was announced. The camera app on the Pixel 10 phone now has content credentials built in. So the metadata documents how it has been processed in the camera app. Again, it's good that Google is supporting these standards, and hopefully more manufacturers will do this as well. There's a bunch more updates for the Pixel 10, Google Photos, and other hardware announced at this week's Made by Google event. If you want more details, you should check out this week's blog post and newsletter. There's links in the video description. And of course, you should subscribe to the newsletter because you get all the updates and information in your inbox every Saturday. Again, there's a link in the video description. And then I just want to finish up with this information. Andrew says the Mississippi thing is wild. I assume this is the Mississippi thing that you're talking about. So the state of Mississippi passed a law that said that everyone on social media has to go through age verification. This is not like the UK law that was recently in effect, where you have to go through age verification to see 18 plus content. No, this Mississippi law says everyone has to go through age verification. Anyone under 18 has to have parental permission to be on the platform. Information has to be stored. And this went up to the US Supreme Court. The Supreme Court said this particular case was not made for the law to be blocked so it can go into effect. I think there are other legal things going on to try and block this. But in the wake of this, Bluesky said, look, we're a small platform. We can't afford to implement all these changes, and we're concerned about privacy. So we're just going to block Bluesky in Mississippi, the entire state. And, I think we're going to see this more often as states and countries, they pass these verification laws, and a lot of them seem to really have a ton of requirements, technical requirements, and there are serious privacy issues involved. The big companies, Meta, Google, X probably, they can afford to invest in creating all these tools to comply with the requirements but small platforms like Bluesky cannot. And I'll note that they also mentioned that there was a problem that they had to deal with, that it was complicated blocking just the state of Mississippi because other people in the US, they may have their internet connection go through Mississippi. And so they were blocking people who weren't there. This is complicated. And people of Mississippi, I can't imagine adults are going to want to go through age verification on Facebook, Nextdoor, LinkedIn, YouTube, every single platform, which is what this law requires. I notice none of the really huge platforms have made any announcement about this. They may be just biding their time to see what happens. But again, they can afford to actually implement this where smaller platforms cannot. It's not a good trend. And does it really protect kids to go through and require everyone to provide an ID? I don't think so. That's not what happens in the real world out, off the internet either. You don't have to show your ID every place you go. So I think those are the updates this week. I want to mention really briefly what was happening 10 years ago this week. It was good stuff. So 10 years ago this week, YouTube Gaming launched. YouTube Gaming was a brand new hub for gaming related content. It had its own YouTube subdomain. It had its own YouTube Gaming app. And it automatically pulled gaming related videos and live streams from YouTube all in one place. It was organized by game. And viewers would get personalized gaming recommendations based on what they watched and what they subscribed to. And I think if I'm remembering correctly, you could subscribe to channels in YouTube Gaming, then that did not carry over to the main YouTube app. So you could have separate subscriptions. So when this was announced, this was called the Twitch killer. Amazon had acquired Twitch in the fall of 2014, so less than a year before this. Of course, this was a competition. I'm sure YouTube was thinking about that. But I want to point out that this was actually really a big deal for everyone, even non-gamers, even people not interested in gaming, because at the same time in 2015, YouTube launched a whole bunch of new live streaming features. So things like 60 frame per second live streaming, the DVR, where you can basically rewind during a live stream, live streams automatically converted to video on demand, and the whole live streaming system was redesigned so that you no longer needed to schedule a live event ahead of time. You could just go live. There was a new live streaming interface at youtube.com/stream. These updates for live streaming were not just for gamers. I mean, gamers like them, of course, but they were for everyone. So everyone benefited from this. And I think that this was actually intentional. Live streaming was really popular in 2015. Early this year, we had Periscope and Meerkat for mobile live streaming. Gaming was really popular. And as Manuel Bronstein, the head of product for consumers, said at the time, live video is hard. It's hard to be interesting for 2 unedited minutes, much less an hour or 3. One of YouTube's first big live streaming initiatives is in video games, because with games, there's always something happening, something to talk about. So this gave YouTube a reason to implement all these live streaming updates in a way that, of course, competed with Twitch. It did not last long as a live streaming platform, as a standalone platform. YouTube announced YouTube Gaming would shut down in September 2018. It shut down in early 2019, and all the gaming content was reintegrated back into the main YouTube platform. But we still had all these great new live streaming features in 2019. They launched the YouTube Live Control Room with all these controls and everything. That's what we have today. So while YouTube gaming was not a Twitch killer, I think live streamers were the ultimate winners. And that's where we are today. So thank you so much for joining me today. I want to say thanks to everyone who's in the chat. Joan says, remember to click on the thumbs up. Yes, please. Like and subscribe, as they say. And, check out my newsletter for this week and subscribe to that if you find it interesting. That's all I have for you this week. Have a great weekend. I'm going to, there's a redirect at the end if you're interested in learning more about Notebook LM's automatic video overviews. So check that out. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you.